we had product placement from, there was a cola out at the time called Jolt Cola. It was twice the caffeine and twice the sugar. So we had cases and cases of the Jolt Cola that everybody was drinking on the set.
And the Simpsons ripped us off. The Simpsons have Buzz Cola. We were the first with Buzz Cola.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should sue.
Yeah, that's right. Anyway, here's Randall. This is Randall, our director.
Here's Eddie.
Okay, should we take questions?
Yeah, questions. Right here.
What was the involvement on the soundtrack? I'm just curious with the, there was obviously the standard surf tunes, but there was a lot of Oingo Boingo I heard.
Well, I think it was Danny Elfman's first score. He had really just been in the band, and Randall and I talked to him, and we got him to do this. That was he did the score, so he's gone on to do bigger scores since this. And
this is still the best.
It was a real challenge to get the Beach Boys songs. Those were difficult to get, but just we were able to convince some people to give us a lot of good music.
Great soundtrack, isn't it? It's wonderful.
All right. Anyone else?
Was the soundtrack ever released? The credits say that it was released on Capitol Records, but was it never?
Capitol was supposed to, I'd made the deal with Capitol so they could put it in the film, and then they were going to release it, but soundtracks, they decided not to do it.
Ooh, Capitol Records.
Ooh.
You know the other thing I forgot about the film? How much TNA is in that movie? What did I forgot about? It's like a stag film. How did you forgot that, George?
Some of that was put in after the fact.
Oh, I'm sorry I missed it. Sorry I missed it live.
Okay, one right there.
Yeah, I'm wondering for the director, how many takes did you guys have to do to get some of those split screen takes? Where they're all talking in unison?
Pretty much we did them all almost first take. I mean, we didn't have the luxury of doing multiple takes on just about anything. I think that kind of shows. But
yeah, the four actors were really pretty good.
They were amazing.
Ruth Buzzy, Biff, Morgan. Those guys were really good. We did have, I think, did we have a day rehearsal for that?
They just got together and
they got together and
really
worked
it
it out.
Everybody was very, very into it. I mean, more than anything else about the cast, and
it was pretty simple to shoot.
Everybody just was really into their part. I remember Ruth Buzzy coming up to me and saying, I just love the fact that I can curse. I never get to curse. So, yeah, everybody had a really good time.
That necessarily wasn't a split screen. That set was built that way. It was a duplicate set. We just put the camera in one position, and the actors went at it. I mean, they basically played that whole scene, duplicating all the dialogue together. They had the timing down, and I think there was a second scene in the movie where we did a tracking shot where you saw through the refrigerator, and then we tracked along. That was the only time we broke angle on that shot. So I think we only shot that a half a day. It only took a half a day to shoot that scene.
Yeah.
Perfect.
There's a question here.
Yeah. What's the ratio of improv to script on this?
It was mostly scripted.
Yeah,
I think the biggest improv guy was Biff.
Yes.
Biff Maynard, the guy who played the tall dad.
Yeah.
He just came up with hysterical lines.
Wait,
he was a character.
Did he make up the schlong line, or did you write that?
I think he probably just said schlong. I mean, he would say things like,
he was a funny guy.
He would say things like, "Well, were you brought up by a pair of brown socks?" And nobody knew.
Is he still around, Biff? What's he doing?
I don't know. Does
anybody know? I was thinking all the cast, what they're all up to. I haven't seen these guys in so long.
Most of them are in real estate.
Well, a lot of them are dead, actually.
Yeah, unfortunately, it is true. Terry Kaiser, who played Weekend at Bernie's, he's passed.
Carol Wayne died.
Carol Wayne had a real tragic. Cleavon Little,
died young. Yeah.
He died really young.
Tom Villard.
Yeah.
And Tom Villard died of
AIDS.
He was the son of Carol Wayne and Terry. It was all that Buzz Cola, I guess.
Killed them all.
But since you asked about the script, I'll tell you the origin of the thing, really. I had been hit in the face by my own surfboard probably a couple of months before George and I met. And the point of the board went through my cheek, and I needed 15 stitches, and I had a party that I had to go to that night, and I was shot up with Demerol, and I drank a lot at the party. And,
that explains surf too.
And yeah, well, that's pretty much it. I started talking about, well, I used to surf with these guys. There was a club on Main Street called Blackie's, and so surf punks were pretty much in vogue at the time, and I would sit out there and listen to them talk to each other. And I picked up, a lot of like Johnny Bighead was actually a guy that used to go crash all these beach parties and, do ridiculous things. So I started telling, I was just kind of out of my head that night, and I was talking to some friends, and they said, God, that's, it's a great idea for a script. And I just stayed drunk for 2 days and wrote the script over that weekend, and then I met George. And
it all makes sense now. It all comes together. That explains what was up there.